Oh, crud. Well, I just dropped my phone. There we go. That started it nicely. Hello, everyone. Well, not everyone, because we all know that no one listens to this. I just sit in my car, randomly talking at my phone in a kind of miserable way, not talking to anyone. But I like to think that I should vision that I'm just talking to someone and talk to that person. But who would that person be? That's a question. Would they be... Should I envision them with 20 legs and a couple of arms? Do I envision them just like stuck in a hospital bed somewhere in a coma? And this is the only thing they're forced to listen to. That'd be awful. If I was the only thing that you were forced to listen to whilst you're in a coma, I really feel sorry for you. And maybe you should snap out of it and just walk up to a person who's making you listen to this and just slap them, then get back into bed and go back into your coma. That would be brilliant. The guy that does a podcast wakes up. You read it in the press, couldn't you? Coma victim wakes up, because they're always a victim, aren't they? Maybe they like being in a coma. You never know. Coma victim wakes up after being forced to listen to the world's most rubbish podcast, and then promptly smacks the nurses and then goes back into a coma, whilst requesting for something a bit more uplifting or better. Well, just better, really. You got to think of it that way. Just a lot more better. Betterer, as the kids don't say. I'm talking about what skibadooby or whatever that is. I have no idea, but they say that a lot, don't they? And what's Ohio's got to do with it all nowadays? I have no idea. People are just odd. Youth talk. I am far too old for youth talk. I just don't get it. Just don't get it at all. And the Scouts, they just tease me with it. That's the problem. They just tease me. But we don't want to go into what I do in real life. But now you know that some Scout activity is involved. So yeah. So where were we? We were just chilling. It's been a week. Been a bit more than a week, I think, because I should do this on a Monday. Do I do this on Monday or a Tuesday? Is it Monday or Tuesday? I can never remember. Boxer size should be on a Monday, but I had to give up boxer size because of the drugs. So obviously the ADHD medication, not actual hardcore drugs. Not into hardcore drugs at all. ADHD medicine made me feel very ill and lethargic. And I got out of breath when I did anything. Even like picking my nose got me out of breath. So yeah, just anything got me out of breath. A bit rubbish, really. So that's my stories. Yeah, I've got no more. So we were yes. So I've got no stories. This week's been a bit. I've been up and down. So I've had lots of verbal rants this week. Lots of. I've got my emotion chart out. I've got an emotion chart. I would recommend them because it is not. I discovered it's not just anger. It's a lot of other stuff, but it is labelled as anger. So I've realised I've been suffering from disappointment and frustration quite a bit. They're quite fun emotional words. And then just being generally annoyed with stuff. Just generally annoyed, and then I end up being me, which is never a good plan. When I'm annoyed because I'm just blatantly sarcastic. So I've had to have some really awkward meetings with suppliers and just been black and white about stuff, which I always feel is wrong because it upsets the balance, doesn't it? Of you play a balance of having a good relationship and a bad relationship, and it's that balance of having a good relationship and a good relationship, and you got to get that right, and because you don't want to piss the people off, but you've also got to get what you want, and so it's all very difficult, and that's a line that I don't like. I can't walk very well because mentally I don't deal with that very well. So yeah, and it is rather annoying. And I just realised a pot rivet's missing from the back of his fence, which is just some random thing, missing a pot rivet. The fence is up. That's a difference from sitting here. I knew it was all a bit weird. I can't see the houses anymore. They've put the fences up. There we go. The fences are up. Our fence and then their fence. I take offence at that. Oh, whatever. Well, we better get reading. Have we done 5 minutes? We've probably done 5 minutes, haven't we? Let's have a look. Let's have a butcher's. We've done 5 minutes. So, right, people are ready to listen to the story rather than the 5 minutes of rubbishness. So he punched her in the face, didn't he? The school mistress was a bit of a sadomasochist. He punched her in the face, and we talked about jumping up and down on crab shells. Okay, she had said nothing, but had not cried out. Only a barely audible gush of breath forced itself between her lips. Hearn wanted to draw his gun and kill her, but he could not. And behind him, Becky was saying faintly, "Take me away! Take me away!" Hearn spoke flatly. "Within an hour, you get everyone out of this building. If you don't do that, then I won't answer for their lives. You understand that?" Miss Owen nodded slightly, and her eyes showed that she understood well enough. "And if I ever hear that you've set up a school somewhere else," Hearn continued, "I'm sure as hell come back and seek you out and kill you." Oh, that's nice. Just spell it out to her. Just spell it out, why don't you? Yeah, you fuck up, I'm going to kill you, bitch. That's what's going on there. Rather than write to the local government and say you can't set up a school, blacklist her. No, he's just going to kill her. He waited until he was certain that she was behind. But she believed him, then turned and untied Becky's bonds. With her arms free, she clung to him and sobbed on his chest until she became aware of her nakedness. Oh, Christ's sake, she's only a kid. Why are we doing this? He found her a bowl of water and a towel and washed clean the worst of the wounds on her back. Then wrapped in a clean sheet and blanket, Hearn lifted her onto the saddle of his horse, jumped up behind and rode back into Phoenix. Right, hold on a minute. We've missed a whole section. Okay, so he's wrapped her in a clean sheet. Right, he's cleaned her. Okay, fatherly thing to do. Then wrapped her in a clean sheet and blanket. Okay, yep. And then surely they're upstairs in a room. So he's then just lifted her onto the saddle of the horse. Okay, are we thinking the horse came in the house with him? But I'm sure earlier he tied the horse up. So I'm now confused what's going on with that horse. Did the horse just follow him in? Is the horse behind going, yeah, he's going to fucking kill you, mate, if you carry on? Is the horse there? What's his horse got to do? And like, did they just walk out? I don't understand about all the other people. We know how you get everyone out of this building. So what is he going to do with them? No, I want to know. I want to know what's going on with I want to know what's going to happen to all these people. What's going to happen to all the people that's just been thrown out of his school? Are they all going to end up just on the streets? Secondly, what's the horse doing in the house? Did he's jumped on the horse, jumped up behind. Okay. Jumped up behind on the horse and rode back into Phoenix. Okay. But did the horse ride down the stairs? I want to know, how did the horse get upstairs in the first place? It doesn't make sense. He took Becky to the doctor's and left her there whilst he went off to the livery stable to buy a small rig. There was nothing else for it. She would have to come with him. For now, anyway. He made sure the horse that was to pull the rig was docile enough for Becky to handle herself. Then brought extra supplies and piled them behind the driver's seat. Oh, he's getting her a horse. All gals like a horse. Back at the doctor's, he gave Becky some money to buy some more clothes for the journey and told her to be ready to leave in half an hour. In half an hour! There we go. "Where are you going, Jed?" she asked. "Time to teach someone a lesson," he replied, as he swung his legs over a saddle and turned the animal's head in the direction of the general store. Purchases he made, he went westward out of town for the second time that day, back to the school again. "Anyone around?" he yelled from the foot of the stairwell. There was no answer. He continued to pour the oil from the cans on the floor and throw it high on the walls. Walking backwards, he made a trail of liquid which led outside to the bottom of the steps. Oh, he's going to set it alight then, obviously. He threw the empty cans back through the open door. There's a waste of cans. And reached inside his trouser pocket for a match, which he stuck on the sole of his boot. Yes, we need more matches lit on the bottom of people's shoes. Those sandpaper shoes. Just like, can anyone actually... Is that possible nowadays? Who can light a match on the bottom of their shoes? This is the question. Modern shoe does not allow matches to be lit, does it, on the bottom of them? You need a certain amount of sandpaper. You need that. Yeah. How? What? No, you can't do it. It's not like Nike do a match edition, do they? Where you can light a match on your trainers, or light a match on. No, even DMs. They're rubber soles. Can't. Well, they're not rubber, are they? Form of rubber, but yeah, you can't light a match on your shoes anymore, or on your stubble. That's a folklore, isn't it? Can you light a match on your stubble? There must be a TikTok video of it somewhere, but let's not worry about that. There we go. Which he struck on the sole of his boot. There's a man, isn't it? Only a man lights his matches on the sole of his boot. The flames leapt greedily to life and ran anxiously. Oh, I can say that word. That's quite exciting. Into the house, darting this way and that, not wanting to miss any chance to consume and destroy. In a matter of minutes, the entire ground floor was ablaze. By the time Hearn had steered his mount 50 yards away from glowing flames, they had reached the first story. He began to walk the animal slowly away. Something made him turn once more, just for a final sight of his morning's work. His eyes blinked with surprise for a second, then looked long and hard. At the top floor window, outlined against the bright orange backdrop of fire, he could see distinctly a woman's face, an old woman's face. He could see her hair was grey, metallic grey. The complexion beneath was as white as death. He watched for several minutes, till the smoke obscured it from his sight. Hearn wheeled his horse round once more and rode smartly back into Phoenix to find Becky waiting in the rig. As she looked up at Hearn, she could see the smoke rising behind his shoulders. He went back to the school. Not a question, a statement. Yep. Had to teach that old crow a lesson. He allowed himself a grim smile. Guess it was a lesson too late for the learning. Oh, so he burnt her alive. There we go. That's nice, isn't it? That's just a bit wrong. Right, we're on chapter 3. We made it to chapter 3. We're on page 30. That's quite good. How many have we done? We haven't read that much. I'm surprised how much we got into the book. But, yeah, not really much has happened. Well, I suppose we've had a gunfight. We've had a brawl in a bar. We've had some dominatrix going on. And now a school gone up in flames. Interesting. The man and the girl set out on their journey, unaware of what might happen to them between Phoenix and Memphis, and certain even of what they might find when they arrived. A lot of uncertainty there. I wonder if they did an uncertainty report. Hearn, that's for anyone in the instrumentation and measurement industry, an uncertainty joke. Thank you very much. Hearn knew he was looking for what he was looking for. Oh, good. At least Hearn knew. The gambler, Barton. No, really? Duquesnes. Duquesnes? Oh well, whatever. It's Duquesne. If anyone can actually tell me how to pronounce it. That's Duquesne. That's Duquesne if you're writing it down. If someone could explain to me how to pronounce it, that would be... What's the point? I'm never going to see that word again ever, apart from in this book, so who cares? We will just call him Barton. It never occurred to him that to travel well over 1,000 miles in search of one man was an absurd thing to do. Well, there's more absurd things to do, isn't there? I think. He would have journeyed 3 times around the world to find any of the men who had attacked his wife. He could not be sure of was whether Duquesne had returned to Memphis. A man who had been involved in such an affair might move on, fearing retribution. There was even a slight chance that he had heard of the death of one of his fellow travellers on the gambling train. Oh, pooh, it's raining. Yet Hearn would head for the Mississippi and find out. Becky was far less positive about the necessity for their making the long journey. She knew that it would be long and difficult. She knew the possibility of Jed meeting his death at the end of it. And yet she was with him, felt safe riding in the little gig, able to watch him guide his horse just ahead of her, and think rather than be left by him at some other school, where some other cruel woman might. Oh, ... Might what? Just be even more dodgy. When she had been trying on the clothes she had brought in Phoenix, Becky had tried to find out from the proprietor. When she was trying on clothes she had brought in Phoenix, Becky had tried to find out from the proprietor of the shop what Memphis was like. All she got was a look of surprise. Why, honey, bless you, I haven't got any long-distance information about Memphis, Tennessee. So the girl had tried to find out from Hearn what the place would be like, but Hearn was too intent upon watching the road to say very much. He had to look out for holes and rocks on the trail, which might damage the wheels of the gig. I need to find out what a gig is, because obviously it's not a concert. It sounds like most of the potholes in Britain, actually. We still have to look out for holes and rocks on the roads, because no one's fixing the roads, even though we pay our road tax. Oh, let's not go into political rant. He had to keep his eyes peeled for any signs of bands of marauding Indians. Marauding, hey! Indians. He might be loose in the territory. Why would they be loose in the territory? They're free to wander. How could they just be loose? And someone opened up a gate and went, "Go! Go, Indians! Be free!" Like that. Oh no, they've escaped! For they had to go through the heart of the Apache territory on their way from Arizona into New Mexico. Well, there we go. That's setting up a storyline, isn't it, if I've ever heard one. The first part of their travels took them along the Salt River Valley. The hills on either side hovered steeply above them, and from time to time closed in on them sharply. Right, it's now raining. I'm gonna finish there. I'm gonna move my car closer to the building, and I'm just gonna chill. What time is it? I think you've had enough, really. I'm sure this bit's all going to be about Indians. The brave. Yeah, we got Indians. Obviously, they set that up openly, didn't they? Just reading ahead. Not that exciting. Right, that'll do. Anyway, it was nice talking to you, whoever you are. If you are even there. Have a nice day. I hope I hope it finds you well and all that jazz, and I'll speak to you another day. Maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, obviously I will. Right, have a good one. Bye.